Black Adam is the new action-packed DC movie that is in theaters right now, this weekend. It is the 11th, I think, film in the DCEU. I might have my numbers off, but there's one movie we don't even acknowledge, so I'm gonna go with 11. I think that's a solid number. The movie is directed by Wame Colette Serra. You might know him from films like Non-Stop, or Unknown, or Run All Night. It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the title role of Black Adam. It stars Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. You got Quintel Cedra, I can't remember her last name, but she plays Cyclone. Noah Centineo, he plays Atom Smasher. So 5,000 years ago, Black Adam was a slave, and then he got great power, and then he became imprisoned because of some stuff that happened. 5,000 years later, he is accidentally woken up when people stumble upon his tomb. Now the JSA has to get involved because now Black Adam is a problem in Kandak, and that's basically the story as I can lay it out. I thought it was an interesting idea to give Black Adam his own spin-off movie so that you can set up the confrontation between him and Shazam. To be honest, sometimes The Rock has fallen into a habit over the last decade of playing the same character in multiple movies. I get it, we like him, he's charismatic, he's popular, but that is a thing that I was worried about going into the movie. One of the first things I will single out as far as praise for this movie is that I do think that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does a good job as Black Adam. Are there people that I still think could play Black Adam better? Yes. Well, maybe it's because I had low expectations or whatever. I thought he did pretty good. He does have like the same two facial expressions for most of the movie. The more important thing is I like his presence. He had a commanding presence to him. He was badass, he was intimidating. You can tell that he's very passionate about the character of Black Adam, and you can tell that he is trying to portray an actual character here. The best parts of the film are easily the moments where Black Adam feels like a fish out of water. I mean, obviously we've seen the fish out of water concept in other movies before, even superhero movies. The JSA, the Justice Society of America, people don't know this, they were actually the first DC team in comics. Like they existed before the Justice League. And the JSA in this movie, I thought everybody had their moments. Everybody had moments of badassery in terms of the action sequences. I'm a big comics guy, what can I say? I like seeing awesome shit in the comics being portrayed in a new visual medium. I like the way their powers looked. I like the way the powers were utilized on screen. Shit looked awesome. I would say the two standouts for the JSA are definitely Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate and Aldous Hodge's Hawkman. I thought they had a really good rapport, really good chemistry. I thought Hawkman was definitely the leader of the group. He has a certain charisma, he has a certain boldness to him. Being that the movie is very loud and very like in your face and in your eardrums and everything, maybe that's why I gravitated towards Pierce Brosnan the most, is because his character was very serene, very pensive, very wise. He's very calm and calculated. He's the one quiet thing in a movie that otherwise is like the complete antithesis of what quiet is. After the first 10 to 15 minutes of this film, honestly, the rest of the film, it feels like a long, extended action sequence. It is breakneck pace. Like the Flash himself would be happy at the speed that this movie is taking off with. They are huge, they're epic, they're definitely trying to build up the scale of this movie visually. There's definitely a lot of memorable sequences, big huge explosions, characters throwing each other into stuff, like the fights between Black Adam and the JSA, like all of that shit is really awesome. It kind of becomes CGI action nonsense at a certain point, but it doesn't mean you're not still enjoying what is happening during these action sequences. They're vibrant, they're out there, they're exciting. I enjoyed them. The musical score was also a highlight for this movie. Just like the rest of the movie, it's very bombastic. And as far as world building for the DCEU, there is a bigger world that is teased and hinted at here. There's definitely a lot of interesting things that fans are gonna have as takeaways from the movie, things that are gonna get them excited, things that they're hinting at towards the future. Definitely stay after for the post-credit scene. There is a scene that has been a long time coming. It made me really happy. I can't talk about it. Actually, I could talk about it because it feels like everybody on the fucking internet knows about it, but I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna keep this as a spoiler-free review, but that post-credit scene, I will definitely be talking about it in the future. You can enjoy a film and still acknowledge what it is. What is Black Adam exactly? Black Adam is a loud, messy, overproduced, rushed mess. Editing and pacing are supposed to be like a happy marriage in the visual medium when you're watching film. Like you're supposed to see the editing definitely play into how well a movie is paced, like how well it's cut together, how well scenes flow. Like a lot of that feeds back into the editing. Like it's a symbiotic relationship. Black Adam, it is not a happy marriage between the editing and the pacing. This is a marriage with lots of issues. It's alimony, it's people cheating on each other, it's divorce papers being finalized, it's a lot of screams, a lot of yells, we're only staying together for the kids, that type of thing. Like it's not pretty at all. The editing for this film is very clunky, very cluttered, kind of all over the place. There's scenes that feel like they could be missing. It feels like they cut these scenes out just to get you to the next action sequence. Pacing for this movie is way too fast. Yeah, Barry would be happy with this film, but this is more like Barry Allen on coke. It is just high octane, high energy all the time, and that's actually kind of exhausting. This movie needed to take its breath. It needed to slow down a little bit. Everything about this movie feels incredibly rushed. Everything about it feels way too fast, way too much. I think that it really takes away from the characters and from the story that they were trying to tell. There's really no point in me spending oxygen trying to talk to you about the villain. Just know that the villain is severely underdeveloped, and it feels like one of those villains that pops up in a comic book movie because they need the characters to have to fight something at the end. It's a story that doesn't feel nearly as interesting or compelling when you're talking about a character like Black Adam and you're talking about the rich lore between him and Shazam. I'm not faulting the actor, but this side character, this kid, he was annoying as fuck, and I wanted to strangle him every time he was on screen. I know you shouldn't talk about strangling kids in a YouTube video talking about a comic book movie, but parents out there, you have moments in your life where you feel like strangling one of your kids. Like, you don't say it, and you don't do it, obviously, but you can't tell me that you don't sometimes feel that. Entertaining, but it's also really sloppy. There's a lot of different ways you could take this movie. But overall, if you're a DC fan, I feel like you're still gonna walk away pretty happy with this thing. Black Adam was exhausting and entertaining, action nonsense for the sake of action nonsense. I'm gonna leave this one in the Daily Planet. And if you have seen it, where would you rank it in the DCEU? Give me your full list down in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.